Do you want to live in a country that can arrest you, put you in jail, deport you, and so you can't come back into the country with no hearing and no due process whatsoever? I know I don't, but we're going to talk about that in just a minute, so stick around.
You're listening to the Legal Shit Podcast, the show that dives into all things legal. In a world where the law can be complicated, convoluted, and confusing, we're here to break it down for you. So, let's get started. And remember, it's not just talk, it's legal shit.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Legal Shit, and here we are again on a beautiful Saturday morning. Have we had any bad Saturday mornings yet?
No, and this one's a special Saturday. It's Easter weekend.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. It's TK.
And it's Antoinette. Hi,
and
guys.
it's Tim, waiting for the Easter Bunny to show up.
I just want my Easter Bunny to bring me
Is
some
the Easter Bunny
Forget
real?
that.
Is the Easter Bunny real?
You know, I think the Easter Bunny was deported last week as well.
Oh, wow. We're going to
Wow.
report the Easter Bunny.
Where was the Easter Bunny
I'm
from?
praying my alarm doesn't go
The
off.
Easter Bunny, I don't know. Maybe somewhere in the Himalayas. Who knows?
I
If you
don't
think
know.
Easter Bunny,
Wherever
where
you-
would that Easter
I
Bunny
don't know
be
where-
from if you thought of,
Where do you deport Easter bunnies to? I don't know.
oh, wow.
Well, today we're going to talk about an issue that's really up in the news this week. It's the issue of due process.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the case, the big case that everyone's talking about is a Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was deported to El Salvador. And as we heard from the El Salvadorian president, he's not being returned to the United States. He had actually a stay order that said he could not be deported, but that was apparently ignored, and he's been deported.
Yeah.
And he sits in an El Salvadorian prison right now without ever having a hearing or anything of that nature. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. But first, let me give you an update on the Menendez brothers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those are of course, we've talked about it before. Those are the two brothers who shotgunned their parents to death back in the 1980s, who were serving life in prison without parole.
Mhm.
And they were supposed to have a resentencing hearing this past Thursday, Friday, which was delayed for some reason. I think it was because of
Really? Did the governor have anything to do with that?
I don't think so. I think
Maybe
what
he
happened.
wants to get the credit for releasing them. Who knows,
Oh,
right?
wow.
I think what happened was it turned into such a shit show. Pardon my French, but that the judge said, "Okay, we got to straighten. We're going to delay this for a little bit." So nothing's going on with the Menendez brothers. They sit in jail still for
Yeah.
shotgunning their two parents to death, reloading a few times. So that's
Mhm.
Oh, boy. And then
They
going
didn't-
on a shopping spree. We all know the deal.
They didn't
Yep.
even get to enjoy the money. That's
No.
sad.
Well, they enjoyed it for a little bit when they went
Just
shopping.
a little
Yeah.
bit. That's it. Like you're going to do all that work and now you're in jail just sitting there.
So today's conversation, I guess, is on a very controversial topic, and that is the deportation of people without due process. And we just want to talk a little bit about what due process means. There's procedural due process and substantive due process. Basically, the due process we're talking about today and what's been in the news is the procedural due process, and that is the right to have notice and have a hearing.
Yep.
So when the government accuses you of a crime, so to speak, you have the right to come into court and try to prove your innocence. The government must prove you're guilty. And in the deportation case of Garcia, he was deported with no hearing whatsoever. Just the government said,
Time
we
to go.
think you're
So he was guilty before being proven
right,
innocent.
basically
The opposite.
Yeah. And why did the government deport him? I think?
Why did they deport him? Guess why? They deported, I think, 300 individuals, over 200 from Venezuela, and I think they sent over 20 or approaching 30 people to El Salvador just because they had a gang tattoo on.
Right.
No other
Oh.
evidence, I think.
Because he
no
came
other
over here when he
evidence.
was 16. So it's tricky.
Gotcha.
So I did a little something like, so what's his name? Armando?
Who's that?
That's his name, right?
I thought it was Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Well, Armando is his first name.
Anyway,
Salvador
Salvadorian.
El Salvador national who immigrated to the United States at age 16 in 2011 to escape gang treatments.
So I always thought it was part of a roundup, but I guess they were going door to door checking for tattoos.
That's
Very
what
Gestapo kind
I
of
didn't know about
tactics
that
here.
part. Oh,
So when we talk about due process, the problem in this case and many other cases is the government just shouldn't be allowed to come into your home or at your workplace and simply accuse you of something and then deport you, take you away from your family, take you away from the United
but
States.
these days, what are you saying when you said the government shouldn't? The rules are changing as
Well,
we.
but-
It's just like walking down the street. Okay, the road changed to something else. A new store is here. This is how the government is operating. They can change as they please.
We have a constitution, and everyone's supposed to follow the constitution.
We do?
Yes. And in fact, our government's supposed to follow the constitution, but apparently it does not, or thinks it can simply ignore court orders.
Right.
Which when you have a government, when you have the executive branch, the president and his minions, ignoring court orders out of the judicial branch, you no longer have a democracy. That's when the system breaks down.
Well, that was the reason for the Declaration of Independence.
Do people really care?
Do
the American people care? That's the question.
Well, and Teddy brought up a good topic, and that is if you read the Declaration of Independence, and I would really, if you have 5 minutes, pull it up online and read it. And what it is, it's a litany of problems that the colonists, the 13 colonies, had with the King of England, who was exercising control over the 13 colonies and basically doing whatever he wanted to do. You had to do whatever he said to be done. And no due process, no nothing. If they didn't like you, they would just come and arrest you, and you'd be taken
away forever, never to be heard from again. And it goes back as well. I didn't just dream this up. I looked this up. It goes back to the Magna Carta back in 1200s that they were trying to limit the king's power. Now, I don't know how successful they end up being. But we're going back to the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, where due process is actually mentioned twice in 2 separate amendments. Why don't you go and tell us about that?
Was it the 14th and the 3rd?
The 14th and the 5th Amendment.
Or 5th Amendment,
yeah.
So basically, due process simply says, if the government accuses you of doing something wrong, in this case, in Garcia's case, it's deportation, do you or should you have the right to have a hearing where the government must come in, present their evidence, and if you're bad, if you're deportable, then deport you. I'm all for the policy. I think if you're here in this country as a guest, basically, where we've given you the right to come into the country, if you start committing crimes, if you're a gang member and are doing bad things in the country, then we should deport you. But what about the case where someone at 15 years old was in a gang and now he's 35 or 40?
Yeah.
And he hasn't been in the gang for 30 years, but has a gang tattoo. Should we just
because of tattoo?
Yeah, just because they like the art of the tattoo.
It's not even the art. It's just when you're young, you're when you're young, you follow a little bit. You're like, okay,
you're
and then, especially there you go. You're impressionable. Yeah. And then because you're there in that country, you're scared for your life and your family life. It's not just your life you're protecting when you kind of have to do these things. It's your families too.
Yeah.
So they thought this individual was the MS-13 gang.
Okay.
Part of the MS-13.
Is that the Venezuelan gang or?
No, the Venezuelan gang. It's another one I can't pronounce. There's a lot of gangs out there.
We have our own.
I can't keep track of all the gangs out there, but I guess they're all violent. But once you detain these people, they're not violent anymore. No. They're taken away. They're under detention. So why would you deport them without a little bit of a trial to figure out if you're actually currently part of this gang and involved in this illegal activity?
Well, so was he illegal? Was he a citizen?
He was here legally. He was not a citizen of the United States. I believe he's a citizen of El Salvador, but he was here legally and actually had an order saying he could not be deported, similar to what an asylum order is. That is, you face gang violence or you face some sort of threat of death or harm back in your home country, and so you're here, and the court issued an order saying he can't be deported, but he was deported anyway.
Yeah. So if I had a tattoo of Mickey Mouse, you're going to send me to Disney World right now?
Please send me to Disney World.
I mean, it's just the same, isn't it?
Yeah. It's and that's the whole thing about due process. It's just because the government says it's so, doesn't mean it's so. There's a lot of mistakes made. I mean, how many people are on death row? Not a lot, but there's been people that have been released after 20, 30 years in prison because it was found out they didn't commit the crime.
Because of new evidence or old evidence that no one felt like checking.
Or some evidence.
Or technology has changed.
That the prosecution didn't feel like presenting, just to get a conviction.
Well, so where do we stand with this individual right now? Will they not bring him back, or are they not? Are they not fessing up?
El Salvador won't let him go.
No. Yeah, the president of El Salvador was just here.
This reminds me of the Elian Gonzalez situation.
Oh, yeah.
When it took away Elian Gonzalez.
Tell what was that about? That was
they sent him to Cuba, right? I think his family here wanted him back in the United States. He actually ended up growing up and becoming an engineer. Can you believe that?
And skills. Right now in El Salvador, everyone, I hear a lot of them are serving their time as seamstress. And I don't know. This is Facebook news. This is Facebook news. I don't know if it's true. No, not Facebook, Instagram news.
Oh boy.
I don't know how true this is, but it says that's how they serve their time.
Why would the president accept these criminals?
Because they put them to work. They make uniforms. Yes, a sweatshop. The prison is a sweatshop. But it looks like the video they showed us, it looked like they had AC. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. I doubt it.
It's not exactly called
they don't want you to sweat on the garments. Then you got to wash it.
Security prison. I don't
the
know.
video they showed, it looked like a professional setting, and they say they do 2,000 prisoners work at a time.
Where is this? In El Salvador?
Yes, in El Salvador. They showed a video. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Well, anyway,
that's great.
I don't know how true it is because it's media. You can twerk it to whatever you want.
Like, is the quality good?
Hopefully,
the uniforms. Yeah, they're making uniforms for kids. All that.
I think our president needs to get another executive order.
No, that's what they're trying to do. Don't say that out loud.
Put some tariffs on
El
Salvador.
Colors for our gang wear now. New fall fashion lineup for 2025. We got beautiful colors now.
Wow. What are you trying?
Go ahead. I'm trying to pull it up. Meanwhile, you guys keep going.
So here's the problem. Whether Garcia is a criminal or whether he's a gang member or not, the whole purpose of the due process is that he gets to come into court and tell the court why he shouldn't be deported.
Mm-hmm.
And the government gets to do just the opposite. They get to come into court and say, hey, get the F out of here because you're deportable. And everyone says, oh, he's a bad guy. He was part of a gang, blah, 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 blah. And he could have been part of a gang many years ago. I don't know. I don't know the facts because he didn't have any due process.
He was 16 when he came over.
Well, he did, and he's never had a hearing, so we don't know the whole story. But the problem isn't just Garcia's case.
No, he was over here.
But when does it stop?
No, what I'm trying to say, he was over here because they sent him over here to protect them because he was in crime.
That's why he had the asylum order, the non-deportation order. But what I'm saying is, it's not just about this case. It's about the whole process. Because if the government can do it here, they can do it. How about they want to deport you?
Hey, don't bring me up in this. Your box.
Right?
Hey. I'm already nervous. I wake up. Listen, I wake up and I'm like, babe, I think they're going to deport me. Suppose I get deported because I was born in Jamaica, but I'm like, what the hell?
Well, don't be fooled if they say we have a free plane ticket for you.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I know you like to travel, but
we do have land in Jamaica. Listen, if you see our land, I'll be fine. I'll start farming.
No, but what I'm saying is, if the government doesn't have to give Mr. Garcia and people, immigrants.
I'll be getting my exercise in.
If they don't have to give them due process, what stops them from saying now we don't have to give anyone due process? We just don't like a reporter on MSNBC who talks bad about us.
They did that to a lawyer the other day. They tried to.
They've been harassing lawyers who represent.
And they're U.S. citizens. They tried to deport them.
The one lawyer there, he's representing the college student who they're trying to deport, and now they're harassing the lawyer. There was another lawyer who was stopped at the border because he was representing someone who speaks out against the government. And so, how far does it go?
So you're absolutely right. Where does
and
it
they're
end?
citizens.
Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Where they actually are on the same street corner as gang members?
Right. Right. Yeah.
And they just suddenly determine that you're associated with them just because you go to the same convenience store.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's exactly right. So due process, the opportunity and right to be heard. And if you go back and read the Declaration of Independence, you'll see that was the start of the colonies of this country saying we don't like what the king does. He shouldn't be.
Does whatever he wants. You go to jail.
Yeah, you go to jail. Whoever the king wanted to go to jail goes to jail without any due process, with nothing. And that's what started that's what led to the Declaration of Independence and the Revolutionary War and the Constitution.
And that's another reason why everyone wants to come to the United States, because you have freedom of speech. You have an opportunity, especially women. We have opportunities. Other countries, it's harder on us.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking away all these rights for women and setting us back where eventually I won't even be able to wear my hair. I won't even be able to wear a little sexy top like this. I'll have to cover up because you take one right away. Remember that you guys keep on thinking they're coming after everyone. They're coming after the women. We talk too much. We're too empowered.
You talk.
Yeah.
And you never shut up.
That's the thing. And the women are the most educated. Not just Black women are the most educated, but women too a lot of women are educated. They're not sitting at home cooking and cleaning and putting up with y'all crap anymore. They're out there in the field and they don't need a man. They want a man. Okay. So, and right now, I always say, why would I pick up a man? Okay, if I'm so educated, am I going to pick up a man below me that I cannot have a conversation with, that don't bring anything to the table? Or I'm going to try to find a man above me where I'm like, okay, I see your worth. I see all this stuff. But if I'm educated and I can't find a man that has the education, the drive, the success, the finance status or anything, why would I want a man? You guys, you're supposed to make me better.
All right. What does that have to do with deportation? Can we deport people?
Oh, I'm still on the part where
Good Lord.
where we need to get our stuff together because they're coming after women. It's all about the women.
No, I think they're coming after people they don't like.
Women. They're coming after women.
Well, maybe
they're starting with you guys, but the end goal is women. Shut us up.
Well, listen, if that's what they want, if there is no due process anymore, then maybe they'll go after women. They'll just start locking them up and deporting them.
These women talk too much to support them.
If you're married, you cannot vote. It's a single household vote, and they're going for that.
No, they're trying to pass.
They're trying to pass that. That means eventually, if you're married, you have no choice. Whatever your husband says is whatever he votes is what you vote. Okay, I'm done.
Gotcha. Okay.
About the dressing, actually, things are changing. I think the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, fact check me on this one. I think he's allowing women to wear.
Yes, I shared that the other day. Yes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And then there's other countries that you got to cover up.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we see it when we go to other countries.
You know how hot it is? Oh my goodness.
Well, they cover up so men won't be tempted.
What about
the temptresses out there?
Yes. I've seen a few of them on the plane after they take their garments.
Oh, they do. They're
not very tempting.
No, that's why they grab you, snatch you. Those are the men. Those are the men that don't get anything.
All their ugliness. I don't know.
That's interesting, but so this is why the whole controversy started about due process, and that is, you can't take away the court's power to have due process. You can't take away people's constitutional right to be able to have an opportunity, a notice, and an opportunity to come into court and to be heard.
Yeah.
And if you're a bad person, if you're deportable under the law, bye-bye. Yeah. I'm all for that.
Yeah, but you have to go through the process first.
Right.
You know,
that's exactly right.
In detention, I just don't see how these people are a threat. If you think that they're a threat and you deport them immediately, how is it different if you just detain them?
Right.
It's not like there's going to be a prison break anywhere.
Right.
It's also the money, too, to hold all those people.
Well, I think, aren't we paying the El Salvadorian government like $5 million a year or something like that?
To do what?
To house prisoners.
Are we getting anything back, like goods, like uniforms and stuff?
What do you want? Pens? You want pens? You want?
Hey.
What do you want?
You know me.
Oh my God.
Hey, that's what I see happening.
Actually, we need to have a hat. We need to get a legal shit hat. I would love to wear a legal shit hat.
I can do that.
So I'm going to wear a legal shit hat.
Can we do a legal shit hat? Can you get that done?
I
can get that done by 2 weeks, week and a half. Yeah.
I don't want a printed one. I want an embroidered one.
No, it'll be just like my hat.
Good deal in El Salvador.
Oh Lord.
Let's contact the president and see if we'll have the prisoners make us some.
LMS 13. No. Legal 13. No, legal shit. Okay, shit. All right.
Can you get one embroidered hat? Is that possible?
Yes, I can do it.
Anyway, taking pictures. We got a camera.
We're taking pictures. We're doing
here. Stories.
We're crossing the streams like in Ghostbusters. Yeah. So it's wild today.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, today's just kind of a free for all.
So I did pull up a few questions.
Okay.
Was there a court order regarding his deportation? Did we answer that already?
No, there was no court order. That's the whole thing. There was a court order saying not to deport him, and that was ignored.
Yes. For removal with.
So they're going to just supersede that by saying, this is a security matter.
Right.
Security of the United States. We're cutting off the head of the organization.
Well, it's
I mean, the U.S. Supreme Court tried to stop it. It just didn't happen.
Well, I don't know. They're a bunch of pussies, but anyway.
These are all assumptions, but you can come up with.
Listen, you are the lawyer. Can you calm it down?
Oh, I just didn't say.
Let us do this, because if you're in trouble, then you can't get us out of jail or out of problems.
Everybody here in Legal Ship Program, ask us questions. I have a lot of check going. Don't be mute. It's questions about anything. You got a lawyer here.
What's that long question right there?
What?
I saw a documentary on the court on the what?
What are you talking about?
Teddy. Didn't you get it?
What question?
There's a question on your phone.
Oh, no, it was a comment made. I'll read the comment out. I'm not sure what it pertains to because I didn't do my research on this particular president, but it says a documentary on the CSOT or CSOT jails.
That's the jail where Garcia is being held.
Okay, that's where he's being held.
Yeah.
And you have to say it's impressive what President Bukele is doing. Is that how I pronounce it? Bukele?
I think so.
All jails should be run that way, honestly. So I'm not sure how the jails are run. Is this some kind of humanitarian jail?
No, that's what I'm talking about. The seamstress, they get they do all kind of skills to better the country.
Skills, like demolition man?
The Terrorism Confinement Center in El Salvador. It's a high security or maximum security facility that's known for their very harsh conditions, supposedly.
Harsh conditions, but here it looks like they're being rehabilitated to become seamstresses.
And seamstress and whatever, like making different things for the
maybe
kids and selling.
Maybe they don't have sewing machines. They make them do them by hand.
Oh my goodness! I'm telling you that they.
I'm here for my fitting.
You sound American. You're sound American.
I don't know. I've been
trying to tell you that they do have all the equipment. They have everything. It looks very nice. They even they look like they have AC and everything.
Do we have any support for that?
I'm trying to find it. I posted the other day.
Does anyone know whether the terrorism confinement center in El Salvador has air conditioning? I doubt they have air conditioning.
No, they have no distractions.
Do they have the ability to live stream?
Probably not. I think the U.S. Senator was able to visit Garcia the other day. He was turned away at first, but then he ultimately was able to see him. And
was that Marco?
No,
that was another senator. Oh, Marco's Secretary of State now.
I know.
Stop it.
Moving up in the world.
Because I want you to be on your P's and Q's.
P's and Q's.
P's, Q's, and R's.
The president called him Little Marco. I'm just repeating what the president called him.
Yeah,
I'm glad I don't have anyone to nudge me right now.
But
listen, you guys are not going to get me deported.
Marco Rubio is part of the president's, inner circle now.
That's a crime. This nudging should be a crime. You'll be deported.
That is a crime. That's called abuse, or what is it called?
Domestic
battery. Yeah. Okay, so what accusation was made against him?
I think they said he was a gang member.
Trump administration accused him of being affiliated with the MS-13, like you said.
There you go. Affiliated.
Claim based on a 2019 bail determination, though he was never charged or convicted of any crime in the U.S. or El Salvador.
So if we get a crew cut, we're immediately Nazis? Is that how it happens?
Yeah.
Not me.
Well, this is what the Nazis did in the 1930s in Germany. They would go door to door, and if they thought you were a Jew, bye.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
No due process. No, but
leave me alone.
This is history.
I know, but history's in the making again. It's repeating itself.
That's right. Those who want to forget history, will.
If you don't learn history, you repeat it.
You look like a gang member to me.
And that is the whole problem with the process. It's not. I don't disagree with what with the president or his cabinet is trying to do, and I don't disagree with getting rid of criminals and gangsters and this. And that's fine. It's just the process to get there.
Yeah, and the El Salvador president is labeling him as a. He says, "Why would you want a terrorist back in America?"
Well,
because he wants him. He's not letting him go.
I know. Well, he's getting paid by the.
He said, "I'm not." He says, "I'm not smuggling a terrorist back to America."
Right, well, that's what he was told to say. Trust me. He's getting money from the U.S. government, and he doesn't want to jeopardize that.
Yeah.
That makes me think of TSA agents. How trained are they to determine if somebody's going to be a terrorist or a threat? I doubt they're very trained in that. So it's really just the machines.
And one of the real problems with the happenings at the border, whether it's at a seaport, whether it's an airport, you have very little rights at the border.
Oh, you have no little rights. You have no rights. What are you talking about?
So
you have no right.
That's why when I go through TSA and when I go in front of a customs officer, I answer their questions, yes or no, and don't do anything. I don't say anything. I don't offer anything because I know sometimes I've talked to one guy who I know he used to work for customs, and he says when people start talking to me, I think they're trying to cover something up, and that makes me
I get nervous regardless.
They ask me a question, I'm like, yes or no. Where you been? I tell them the hotel. That's it. No extra commentary. Just yes, no, yes. Here you go. Here's where I'm staying. How many days? Bye. Adios. Boom.
And here's the other thing, too. Let's say you are a gang member and part of a gang and you've lived in America for 20 years. Wouldn't you go to jail in America?
I would think.
Right? Wouldn't you go to jail in America?
But he had no crimes.
But no. Let's say you're a citizen and you're a gang member.
You go to jail here?
Right? Maybe you were born somewhere else, but you're a citizen. Wouldn't you go to jail in America?
One
Try in America and go to jail in America.
One would think, but now the president's even talking about deportation of U.S. citizens who are bad people.
Well, he was actually talking about voluntary deportation. Too.
Voluntary.
Yeah.
Say, we'll give him some money. We'll throw some money at him. We'll give him a plane ticket. He was mentioning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the interviewer said, yeah, fantastic.
No, don't put it on me. I'm good.
Oh.
Leave it to them to leave the country on their own. Right. We'll see how they delay that.
Yeah.
So the legal action is ongoing. The government secure his it says he has lawyers.
Yeah, and they've sued the government to get his return.
And what's that right there?
What's the matter?
What's that right there?
I don't know. What are you playing around with?
We're half live.
Yeah, I'm like, what's that right there?
You got to remove that, whatever it is. You got to remove that because right now we have a split screen and the other camera is not working. So
Timothy Schulz is experiencing connection.
What happened?
It says you're experiencing some connection issues. 99% upload.
yeah, but why is it half off? You should.
He's experienced
Yeah,
connection
but that's
issues.
only on that half of the screen. So you need to click off that screen and make it full screen. Is there a way to make it full screen?
Oh, frig.
What?
How can that camera die so fast? I think that's what's happening.
What?
No, it's one single camera.
Yeah.
You can see me.
It's 99%. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the light died.
What?
The light wasn't charged.
I don't think so. I think you have it on split screen right now.
No, all the cameras are up.
It has nothing to do with the cameras. It has to do with the program.
Okay, go. I don't know this part.
I blame the bug that's flying around in here in the studio.
Timothy Schulz is okay.
Who let the bug in here?
We're not able. Okay, there it goes. It came back.
All right.
Stop trying to blame me.
It
Please
came
don't blame
back?
me.
All right, let's see. There's a
No,
delay.
hold on. Let's go back.
There's a delay here.
Let's
Let's
make sure
hope
we're
it came back.
Okay, heads up. Timothy Schulz is experiencing connection issues. Don't knock out the
Mimi?
microphones.
Mimi, get your tongue out.
There's a
What about, what should I do? The machine acts, or the computer acts, the machine acts. Don't try to blame me.
Deport the computer.
I'm not taking any blame
immediately.
on anything.
Okay, now we have full screen.
Yeah,
okay.
it's bad.
All right, everybody, we're back.
and this is,
Yeah.
Phew.
It
We
fixed-
love these
it
technical
fixed-
problems.
It fixed itself.
Mimi, stop gnawing at all of the wiring.
Because
Yeah,
I was like,
okay.
that camera said 99%, but the light was dead, so I had to charge a light.
what light?
The light that's this light right here that makes me look good.
I know, but it's not dead. It's been on the whole time.
Yeah, because I took the plug out of the camera to charge the light. The light died.
Post production.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these are at least we have due process here. We have the opportunity to be heard and present our case.
Yes, without being blamed, because they almost try to blame me. I saw it last week. Something happened too. If you saw the evil eye Teddy gave me, I still
Did you
feel.
do an evil eye?
Oh yeah, you did.
When did I do that?
You did this, and then you pulled it
We
back.
can't hear you.
Oh, he did like something like that and twicked his eye and looked at me like I did something when the computer did, just like it did a while ago,
I don't understand.
and pulled it back because he figured out that it wasn't me. And then Tim tried to blame me too. I'm like, seriously? Just
Was
leave
I
it
right?
alone. No, you were not right. The computer did that on its own.
We have no due
Oh,
process here. This is no due
Yes.
process.
No, you were guilty. With the evil, guilty as charged.
Yes.
Immediately
That's it.
guilty. Guilty until proven innocent.
So,
Yeah.
the interesting thing is how the public is reacting, and supposedly they've had a pretty large outcry from the public by saying this is wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think people are starting to realize if it happens in this case,
Oh,
it will happen more often, and it will become more common, and pretty soon you're in a
what?
what
I didn't do anything. I'm listening
leave
to
it
you.
alone.
No. You don't know
Don't
what I'm
touch it.
doing. I have to touch it to make sure that's
like
going on.
this, like just do this.
This is something that happened to the computer. The computer, it says, heads up, Timothy. It's experiencing connectivity issue. That has nothing to do with me.
Anyway.
No touch rules.
You have to touch it because remember last time I
No
did not
touchy.
touch it and then the computer died?
No, we're good.
All right.
Yes.
Anyway,
We're good. We're good right now.
I need a different lawyer. Because my lawyer is never on my side. I'm telling you this now.
To sue your own lawyer husband.
Because never on my side.
I'm on your side, babe. Anyway,
Want to embarrass me in public.
I don't know what's going on with
Who is that? Is that your
connectivity
dad?
issues.
Hey, guys.
I got you, babe.
We have people outside our window waving to us.
Oh boy. Mimi, don't attack right now.
Anyway.
You're not an attack.
We've got all kinds of shit happening here in
Oh,
Liquid Shit Studio.
goodness.
Today you're a diplomat.
we
I even have a vein popping in my head.
we
I
have
feel
people
defensive.
outside. We've got the dog barking. We've got connectivity issues. It's another fun day here.
And it's not Antoinette's fault.
No, it's not Antoinette's fault at all. It's
Thank you.
but for some reason, I don't know what.
Okay, we're done. Can we
Anyway. Yeah. So
What have we done?
Ay.
It's never over.
so
Nothing is
so
over.
In order to deport Mr. Garcia, Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act, which was started in 1798. It's a very old
Act?
law. It's the Alien Espionage.
Someone had to start
Alien
research
Enemies
that
Act.
because I know he didn't.
Not outer space aliens.
Because I can't even read. I can't focus to read all that stuff. That's a lot of reading.
What's that?
So who found the act? That's what I want to know. Because I know Mr. Trump didn't. President Trump did not.
He was not around in 1798.
And I know he did not do the research. Someone found the research to make proof. Or did AI do it?
No, it's all these.
How can we get rid of him? AI.
No,
Blah, blah,
you
blah,
don't
blah,
understand.
blah,
The president has all these little minions,
And how can we
and they
legally
do all the little
How
research
can
and
we
find all
legally
these?
get rid of him?
Yeah, that doesn't stop him from
Exactly.
taking credit for that.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, I'm the first person to use that law in 200 years.
Right.
Therefore, I'm taking credit for it.
To beat this dog.
Oh my God. We have people outside waving, and the dog thinks that she's like 100 pounds when she's about 10 pounds soaking wet.
It's all about her right now.
And it's all about her making noise.
And she wants to talk to
What's
everyone.
that, Mimi? You deemed that they should be deported immediately? Oh, wow. We're listening to the dog now, like Son of Sam.
Okay, so what's the current status? Okay, we already did that. What's next?
I don't know. We're talking about due process and the right to be able to, and how far can the government go?
There are a lot of famous people that have been jailed. We're talking about Gandhi. We're talking about Nelson Mandela.
Oh, goodness.
I'm sure they didn't get a fair trial.
Too.
No, they had no due process, really.
Due process. At least they survived.
Yeah, I don't know the information on how
everyone else
the rest of Gandhi and Nelson Mandela. He spent 30 years in prison. Nelson Mandela, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 27 years in prison, and then became president.
Yeah, he became president of South Africa, which is quite amazing. We've had people jailed here, and it's not just the Garcia case. Now we have cases where students at universities are being threatened with deportation because they're speaking out against government policies. For instance, some of the students, I think it's a Columbia student at Columbia. I think he's
an Asian guy.
No, I think it was the Middle Eastern guy who was speaking out against the war in Gaza, basically anti-Israel, and they were trying to deport him.
Isn't that part of freedom of speech?
That's
not if you're not. I don't want to say more. If you're not a citizen.
Well, that's the whole thing. And now what Trump is trying to do, our president, is cut funding to these various colleges unless they do basically what he says.
Well, that
we're gonna, we don't think you've cracked down on anti-Israel protesters, and therefore we're gonna take away your funding that we give you every year for research and development, and we'll just take away hundreds of millions of dollars of funding.
Is that extortion? Is that extortion?
It's government funding. It's government money.
I guess you're allowed to take it away, but you're
allowed to give it and you're allowed to take it away. It's government money.
Is that what we want as a country? Do you want people who have to bow down to the king, so to speak, unless they do what he says, or else you lose your funding, you lose this? And I think Harvard is challenging his actions, I think.
Right.
So
because they were taking away their right to be a nonprofit. As well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And this is
because that's another way.
Institution.
Tax exempt.
Tax exempt.
Hey guys, so I do have a nonprofit myself. We're having a fundraiser tomorrow at Polo.
Oh my Lord.
It helps the kids in the community. It's a summer camp 2 months out of the year, June and July. We provide free services from pistache to Ganache Bakery. What's it called? Timothy Law Firm. We do the podcast here. Subculture lets us use all their facilities like sassafras, the what is it called? The cafes and all that stuff. Hullabaloo. They let us use all their facilities, which is on the subculture, to make sure the kids have a great time. 335 Speak Easy. We just move them around in different locations where we learn sewing. Not sewing.
Not just sewing, though, right?
Sewing.
Lessons.
Yeah, all life lessons. But I was bringing up the sewing because El Salvador.
Well, then we should just deport those kids to El Salvador and they can learn it better.
Oh, my God.
They can do it every day.
Yeah, they can do it every day for free.
For free?
No, I mean, they were learning some good life lessons. And last year, I remember one specific moment when you were teaching them about giving tips.
Oh, yeah.
Having tips at a restaurant.
Yeah. I still remember. I forgot his name. He was so funny. I didn't buy this. I didn't purchase this. Why is this on my receipt? I gave him a random receipt, and he was like, "I didn't eat this."
Don't look at their receipts.
No one makes hardly anyone.
They see.
That's the naive part of being a part of America. You get to be naive.
Yeah, look at your grocery receipt. Look at every receipt out there. And now your gas station receipt.
And now everything's a tip, and there's a service charge automatically added in.
Yeah, you got to look out for that.
Yeah.
I've mentioned that before in another stream.
Yeah.
It's a Miami problem. But
20%.
It's creeping its way up Southern Florida.
I know.
20%.
No, now it's like 25 or 22%.
They're getting 20% from me. I'm sorry. I don't even get that much.
Now it's an automatic service charge, right?
I remember when it was 15.
I remember when it was 10.
Suddenly it became 18. Yeah. But now they just
was it 18?
They have these scanners right now. They already pre-select 20, 22, 25 because they're greedy. I'm like, wait a minute. Why don't you give me the good service first?
Right.
And then I'll determine what it should be.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, well. I know when I go to Europe and we tip, they're all like, woohoo.
Yeah, because
I tell him to slow it down because every time he overdoes it, these people follow us and I hate it.
You know what it's called? It's called pourboire. pourboire means for drink. So that
but they don't like it. Some of the Europeans do not like it. They think it's rude.
Well, they say it's incorporated into their pay already.
And they are well paid as compared to restaurant workers in the United States.
They don't have that minimum wage thing and then get the tips. But if you throw a few euros at them, right, they're not going to say no. They're going to appreciate it, of course.
Right.
I've had it where
say it's rude. You'd say it's rude?
No, they think it's rude. They don't like
it's rude?
Yeah. So I was 2005, I was getting a massage in Netherlands, and I tried to tip the massage therapist, and he refused to take it. And I didn't understand why he was refusing. And then I spoke to one of the other athletes that I was training with, and I was staying with at her house, Nana and Mami. That's their name. They're from Ghana.
Have they been deported?
They live in Netherlands.
Oh, never mind.
Currently negotiations for deportation.
No, but they were like, no, you do not tip over here. It's considered kind of rude. They feel like they have enough and they don't need your handout.
Okay, well, that's very nice. I wish that would be the process over here. But man, like everything now, everything once they want to tip, it's all online. They want to tip for anything.
Because it's just different.
I know, but Jesus.
Well, I mean, to-go items should
especially healthcare. They don't have.
That's what I believe. If you get a to-go item, you're a takeout window. You should never tip that, even though it has that line. Don't be pressured into needing to tip. That's the reason why you have dine-in service. You're getting service, and takeout is not service. Right.
But it's hard when you start to make friends with these people. You eat there enough, you make friends with them, and now you're like, man, I got to
guilt. It's the
guilt comes in.
There's guilt. You have to be able to separate the guilt.
By the way, we're just, I don't know how we have segued into talking about tips. But anyway, I was walking down the street yesterday, and one of our homeless citizens, one of our unhoused, walked by and says, "Hey, big man, you got a 5 or 10 for me today?"
A 5 or 10, not a dollar?
A 5 or 10.
Was it a dollar guy?
No, it wasn't a dollar guy. It was some guy, and he said, "You got a 5 or 10 for me? Hey, big man, you got a 5 or 10 for me?"
You tell him.
I told you, Luz. I told you need to go work out. See, he's calling him big because he's not exercising.
Did you skip straight? Went straight to $5?
5 or 10? Got a 5 or 10?
Wow,
Lord.
A 10. I want a 10. Can I have a 10?
Yeah.
Can I have a 10 spot, please?
Oh, my God.
How about once an hour you give me a 10 spot? I'll be a happy man.
My God.
That'd be great.
5 or 10.
Hey, that's a lot.
I know.
Well, you notice they call you, just to reiterate, they called you big man.
Big man.
You used to be small man. Maybe if you go to the gym some, you'll,
big man.
Back to regular man.
Big guy. How about a 10?
5 or 10. Give me 5 or 10. Got 5 or 10.
He thinks that you have eaten enough. He's like, you can spare some money.
Give me everything in your wallet right now. And I'll wrap you without a weapon.
I am so horrible. I need him to work out.
All right. We'll go working out.
No, we're not doing anything. I'm working out.
All right.
You need to work out.
I'll get working out again.
Yeah, please. It's bothering me.
Now we segue down into
your weight?
My personal behavior.
Yes, you need to work out. It's bothering me.
I'll start working out.
Now, if you see these kids at an ice cream stand, and you want to tip them, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know why you're tipping them. You're tipping them
they're in
to
school.
They're working. They're just starting the working career. You want to encourage them. I understand all that.
Right.
But in general, you're doing takeout. There's really no reason to tip that.
No, I agree. All right. So what did we learn today about due process?
What lesson did we learn? The importance of upholding the legal procedures and ensuring that the individual rights are protected.
Our country was founded on due process. The Constitution talks about due process. It's part of our fabric of a country that you can't just be arrested or deported without ever having a hearing, or else then it falls apart. Then the king, so to speak, this is what happened in the old English days when the colonists came here. The king would just have his people come in and lock you up, and that would be the end of it. You'd be gone. And so we can't have that, or else the country falls apart. When the government can go into your house or whisk you off the street and lock you up with no due process and deport you or send you somewhere, that's a problem. Because if they can do it here,
too bad, so sad.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. Well, that's right. Let's hit that one again.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
That's what they play when they deport you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for ya.
There we go.
What's this one?
I'm sorry. This.
Yeah,
we don't clap.
I'm certain nobody's cheering when they take you away in handcuffs.
This is what we hear from the government when they talk about Mr. Garcia's deportation.
Ooh, that's what we hear from everything when we're talking about deportation.
To the point, we usually like to follow up and give you updates on what's happening. Is this going to be something that's going to be buried and we're going to be forgotten, or we're going to try to keep up with it?
Yeah, I mean that's
I believe they're going to try to bury this.
Yeah, they'll start a whole.
There's so many things going on. It's going to get.
They start a new cycle on something else, and some other atrocity, and that'll be the end of Mr. Garcia.
But he has wife and kids, so it's not going to be fully buried.
She was happy to see him that he was still alive.
Yeah.
When he met with the U.S. Senator the other day.
Good. How did he look? Did you see what he looked like? Or
he looked normal.
Oh.
Yeah, he looked pretty normal.
Okay.
I'm sure they cleaned him up and stuff like that. But maybe just gave him sewing class.
Did they delouse him? Delouse him?
Maybe he was in sewing class though.
With great skills to be able to make the nicest fitting, what do they call that when you make custom suits, right?
Yeah.
Custom tailored
gangwear. Gangwear.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I like it.
What do you like about
gangwear?
Bespoke.
Bespoke gangwear.
I'm still trying to find that video. I posted it the other day.
Well, if we find the video sometime before the next week, we'll play it for you next week.
Yeah, and we'll put it in the
Maybe I'll play a clip.
Because you can still fix it in the Riverside, right?
I can put it into the video clip that we ultimately upload to Spotify.
Oh, okay, got you.
So if you want to look at any prior videos that we kind of fix afterwards from the live stream, they're all on Spotify under Legal Shit. So is that it? Is that it for due process? I think so.
I think we covered it for now. I mean, I hope everybody has a wonderful Easter and don't get deported until at least after Sunday.
Yeah.
They should have a no deportation Sunday.
Oh, we're going to have a stay on deportation for Sunday, hopefully?
I think so. Well,
okay. Well,
the Easter Bunny will.
So is there anything else in news that we can...
I don't think so. There's a lot of news going on, but
I don't know about anything affecting Florida. I haven't been paying attention.
No, we've just been having really beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So everybody come on down. Green Market's still happening. I think is this the last week for Green Market here in West Palm Beach?
I think so, or maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
Maybe after
We're coming up towards the end of the season here.
Yep.
And it was a beautiful season. Polo rained maybe once, and that's about it. Last year it rained so much.
We had one day.
Yeah.
With a little bit of rain, and then after we left, because no one really showed up because it was raining. Supposedly the sun came out and it was beautiful. But we've had all great days and beautiful weather, and no deportations here in the office. So.
No, ISIS did not show up to Polo and try to snatch it.
ISIS is in Middle East.
Lord,
organization. I'm going to use the term that the kids use. Sus. If we're missing next week, you'll know where we went.
Oh goodness! If I'm missing, I'm the one. These two were born here. If I'm missing, you guys can come and visit. I have homes.
It's part of the master plan.
I have opportunities
the radar and not get deported.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll send you all your oils and all your vegetables, because eventually you guys won't have vegetables here, or they'll be too expensive.
No,
I'll pack it in
to pick them.
I'll pack them in barrels and send them back to you guys.
It's going to be. That would be interesting because normally it's the barrels going down to Jamaica.
Hey, Jamaica's going to be able to have to send you guys some soon because the way how you guys are acting.
Anyone has family in Jamaica, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, now we're giving it back. We're giving back.
I'm worried about what happens when I go to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
We're giving back.
Right.
You don't need to send us barrels anymore. We'll be sending barrels to America to help you guys out.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's it. It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Hopefully, you all understand what due process is. It's the right to notice, to have notice, and the right to be heard. So therefore, if you don't have that, the government falls apart, the country falls apart, and the king gets to do whatever he wants to do. So we've got to prevent that and stick up for due process. So
make sure you guys like, share, follow.
It's legal shit.
Legal shit.
Right.
Teddy, what is it?
It's not just shit. It's legal shit.
That's right. All right. Great talking to everyone. Have a great Saturday and happy Easter. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.